Hello, welcome back to HLS Crypto. So, WET is relaunching. There is a lot of information still to come regarding that. So, what I've done is today is I've put the AMA on here from last night when all the decisions were kind of being made, and there will be another one tomorrow, which is being recorded tonight at 10 p.m. If you are in the WET Telegram, then jump onto it. It's a video, a voice chat. But obviously, for the people who haven't got Telegram, then I'll put this here. There are obviously always the links in the description, things like that. There is a form if you want to get any bonus tokens from that. Again, it'll make a lot more sense once you've heard the rest of this video. Other than that, just want to say a massive, massive thank you to a lot of people who have shown great support, and they're in there in the Telegram community, still working really, really hard. Jordana and Ben are working their absolute socks off right now. So is Isabella over in the Telegram. She's really, really putting in lengthy hours. So a big thank you to them. So have a look at this. And again, like I said before, tomorrow will be a complete updated model of what we're going to do next. It's definitely not a rug. There is no rug. We've not done any rugs. We proved that. We've proved it with our wallets and Telegram, things like that, to show that we haven't sold anything. There's now been a snapshot taken, things like that. So it's never been about being a rug. I know people are going to make up their own minds or whatever, but it's not the case. We're still committed. We're still focused. Why would we dox ourselves and do all this effort, put all this work in to rug? You know, it doesn't make any sense. But again, you'll all will be in this chat, and you'll hear absolutely everything, everyone's thoughts, questions from the community as well, which you will be answered obviously on this video. So stick around, watch this, and then tomorrow I'll put the 10 o'clock one on from tonight, so you'll be able to get to watch that as well for people who haven't got the benefit of Telegram. And yeah, I'll speak to you in a bit.
Pay taxes soon. So if you're listening to this recording, we're just having a discussion openly with the community right now. It's kind of happened organically, but we're going to go ahead and try to give out our relaunch plans during this. I'm going to answer a few people's questions first, and then I will come back around. And again, if you're listening to this recording, just kind of let you know what's going on with the token. So just want to make sure that's there at the beginning. All right, so let's see what this person says in the chat. So Cryptocius Hodelman. I set a order limit before this announcement, so I'm currently down a lot. I mean, I'm fine for each individual case like this, like for this person that's in the VC, I don't know if they're in the VC or not, but at least in the chat, to just give them tokens for that limit order. If you guys want to individually come by one with your case, like you can. I'm gonna probably just say yes to everything because again, I just want you guys not to like stress out and be like flooding the chat basically. So as long as it's like realistic, right? Like if you're like, oh, I bought $10,000 a second later, like I don't even know if we can fulfill that. Like there's only so much like we can handle basically, and it's difficult too, honestly. Like the thing to think about as well is going to be like if I go back by higher market cap, like basically when I design the pre-sale, like mathematically, like I have to give you guys like a certain amount of tokens on that. Um, and so unless I dilute it like severely, like the tokenomic chart's going to look like 80% pre-salers, 10%, pre 80% V1 holders, 10% pre-salers, like 10% liquidity or something like that. And the pre-salers are going to see, oh shit, there's like 80% people that have little or no vesting. They're just going to dump on me day one. So it's quite the conundrum to think about like juggling all this in advance, like keeping you guys, just kind of happy, keeping like people with the pre-sale in the future also happy, making the tokenomics look nice, and just ultimately the success of everything all combined. Um, so like I don't know, like I would much prefer to just use like the pre-announcement snapshot. I personally think it's fair, but if you guys are really against it, I mean, we can basically give you more tokens, but again, like it really severely affects the health of the token as a whole doing that kind of thing in a wide variety of ways. So just hearing this to the community now out loud, what are you guys comfortable with? Are you okay if I use the snapshot from right before the announcement? And like bearing in mind that like we really did not go around sneakily telling people to like dump or anything. That was just naturally what was happening with the chart already for the last couple of days. Are you guys okay if I use that
Yeah,
snapshot? If not, I'll
I
use the
think
older
so.
one.
Yeah, right before the announcement is fair. And then these other cases, people, buying after the announcement, right? You treat that on a case by case basis,
Yeah,
right?
and I'm fully fine to do that. So if everyone's okay with it, I'm gonna go with the snapshot from like 10 minutes before we talked about any of this publicly and when we started pulling LP. So it's not going to include the price anytime we pulled LP further than that. So it's not like dumping price or anything like that. I don't want to do any of that kind of bullshit to you guys. It is just like the natural price of what it was before we started any of these actions, like actually. Um, I'm gonna go off of that for now, and it makes a lot more sense, I think, to the future of the token having like a certain amount of like tokens that are being given out that can also give the pre-sellers in the future, which also may still be you guys anyways if you just want to buy again. Um, like the room to buy in without like fear of like this massive amount of people already holding the token. So I appreciate you guys just kind of not pushing back heavily on that. Because I know there's like a way to look at it where it's like selfishly for yourself, and it's not even like selfishly, it's just more looking out for yourself and also looking at the overall community and the token project as a whole. So that's the way I am like forced to look at it. Like I can't just look out for me unless I was like a rugger and I'm just trying to take money or whatever. So um, I'm just trying to do the best for everyone basically. So um, I'm gonna see the chat if there's any more questions. Otherwise, for a moment, I'll just kind of take time to just put in this recording, just like exactly what's going on. Ben, I would like to know more about Maddie. What is going to happen? We can talk about that a little bit later, I'd say, but we have a lot actually. But I'll actually let Jordan speak on that because she's done a lot more work on that today. I heard someone just speaking. If you want to go ahead.
Yeah, I want real quick. I wanted to know how long we got to hold the wet in order to ensure we're still getting the airdrop for the V2 of
I
the,
mean,
the
if you
relaunch.
guys want to sell now and make extra money, I don't really care. Like it's fine. Like we pulled. I mean, if we want to get anyone else that can help us pull liquidity, like privately, we'd super help that because again, it's just going to our marketing budget. But if you want to just sell the token past the snapshot, like there's still liquidity in there at like an okay price, so you'll take a little bit of a profit. As long as like you're in that snapshot that I took, like you'll get tokens basically. I'm not gonna like go remove anyone because like you sold afterwards.
All right.
So I'm gonna take a moment. I know there's probably people in the chat like asking questions, but I just want to put into this recording for future people listening. So just in case, like, it's 12 hours in the future and you're hearing this for the first time, we are going to be doing a relaunch of the wet token. It's likely going to be on Pink Sale or Gempad or something like that, and it's going to be a fair launch. We're doing this for a wide variety of reasons, but mainly because like we believe we can get more capital to run the marketing further, plus also do certain things to help run the longevity of the token, such as reframing it into a more utility method, potentially putting on taxes. We're discussing it openly, whether or not we are or aren't. And also just trying to shift like what the utilities even are themselves to something more immediate, I would say, rather than like a platform that's way off in the future potentially. So we'll discuss like the utilities probably, at a slightly later date, like maybe like tomorrow or something. But I do want to focus just on token logistics. For anyone listening and anyone also just in the VC right now, so just to be clear, we took a snapshot before we announced what was going on with the relaunch. We told as minimal amount of people about the relaunch as possible. Only people that were going to assist with the LP pull essentially were known about it. In which case, those tokens are just being put into like basically a fund for marketing for the pre-sale. So they did not gain anything in tokens from just having this knowledge. And then separately than that, we will be doing an airdrop of the token, likely right before, like a day before our V2 launch. We're trying to do this ASAP. So if we have the ability to like be on like Pink Sale or Gym Pad or something on like Monday, we will. We're gonna work probably about as hard as we can. Usually you don't want to do these things over a weekend, so we're going to probably at the very least start like Monday, I'd say. So we will take probably a day to coordinate with Pink Sale, make the token, um, and then probably get like some marketing started for our pre-sale up again. So you'll see us be doing AMAs and Twitter Space and stuff like that with whatever amount of funds that we were able to gather from the liquidity pool. Um, we were only able to pull a certain amount of liquidity when we announced this relaunch, and if just to understand what that may mean if you're not as technical. Essentially, to do a relaunch, like we have to pull the LP out to use as funds for the next token, essentially. We only had so many tokens to pull out, so it did remove like a lot of the market cap. It's significantly lower, but it is still a live token, so you can sell your tokens afterwards as long as you are in the snapshot at I believe it was roughly 6:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, April 4th. You will receive an airdrop of tokens. What you do with your tokens of Wet right now, afterwards, do whatever you want. If you want to buy or sell or whatever, it's likely that just because there's a little bit of liquidity left, it will actually be in play. People can buy and sell. It could, do all kinds of things basically on its own. So basically, we get some free money there. We will airdrop you tokens. Because it's a fair launch, we can't really tell you in advance what is the price or the market cap of the new token. We won't know until that's completed. But we're going to go out of our way to make sure you get, at the very least, the USD value of your tokens previous to the announcement of the relaunch. So it's fair for everybody having the same knowledge of what tokens they have at that period of time. Um, if you have any questions about this, hearing this, come into our chat, let us know. If you have any sort of like weird particular cases, like, I don't know, you bought like right afterwards or something like that, and you feel it should be in the snapshot, like you can totally like hit us up. I'm down to, broker whatever like makes sense. Like if it, you feel like you should be getting tokens for, something 20 minutes later for whatever reason, I'm down to, send it to you if it makes sense, basically within the airdrop. So that's all logistics I can think of to put in this recording. I'll go back to answering questions now, but just wanted that somewhere in like the first 10 minutes. Okay, I've been talking a lot. Let me go look. What do we got?
Hey Ben, quick question.
Go ahead.
If we did buy after the announcement, would it be easier for you just to roll that into the price of the token at the time of the announcement and just add that to the bag at that fair market value? Does that make sense? Would that be easier for you?
Like what do you mean exactly? Like I go off like when you bought that separate bag?
Let's say I bought $200 like 5 minutes after the announcement. Instead, and I see where if it's going down, you're taking advantage of the situation. To make it easier on you, instead of refunding Saul or whatever we need to do, Solana, what about just actually rolling that into the funding for the next token? In other words, I would get that $200 at the announcement price and just add that on top of my bag at fair market value. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like I said, like I'm okay to like kind of barter on this for like case by case like this. Like
Sure.
the main thing is like if we just keep letting in like all this extra tokens, like we're just giving out free tokens, and then like it's fine for like one person, but you do this at scale, and you have all these people that could potentially dump like right at the launch, and it's just something to consider. Like I'm okay if like look, you feel a certain way, you bought 10 minutes later, and you really think you deserve this to be in the airdrop plus the ability to sell it as well.
I wouldn't mean it like that. I wouldn't mean it like that, Ben. I meant like, let's say the market cap at the time was 400,000 MC at the time of the announcement. Just roll in that funding, that $200, in on the next token at whatever that valuation would be at the time of the announcement. Not where it was like when it was like pre-falling down, more along the time of actually at the announcement. We were at $350,000. Let's just roll this $200 into a 350,000 MC buy for this guy and just stack it into the bag, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
That way it's not affecting you guys. Yeah, it doesn't affect
Yeah,
you
no,
guys, and it's actually we're helping the project moving forward by making another
well,
investment in it at the bottom, so to speak.
I mean, this is how it is on our end, right? Like we've already like pulled LP out of like our own like bags, like me and Jordana, like and many of the other parts of the team. Um, so you guys buying or selling the token after we have nothing in it, like it doesn't really affect us either way, right? It doesn't make the project better or worse. It's really just an independent buy. So it doesn't necessarily help us, I would say, like to give you extra tokens for that $200. Like we didn't gain anything from it. Like I'm open again to barter on that. Like if you feel like you should get these extra tokens in the airdrop and you just feel a certain way, like I'm okay with it, to like some level.
Sure.
Like, but
Well,
all we're really
I
doing
guess
at
the
the end of the day
alter
is just giving you extra money at like launch, basically.
sure. Well, I guess the on the opposite side is if we really don't do that, do we just get reimbursed in Solana for that amount that we invested at that time?
I mean, the way I think it's fair is that, we announce this, the knowledge is given out, and then if people are buying and selling afterwards, it's just independent of anything with our airdrop. Like whatever people people may go up and down all kinds of ways after that, and like again, like if it's like really close to the announcement, or you're like, oh, well, I didn't see the announcement, like I think that's fair, like maybe for a small window of time, but like I can't do that like indefinitely, like just keep reimbursing people that bought like 2 days later or something. Like it doesn't make any sense to do that.
Oh no, I completely understand that. I'm just saying within reason, like from the video chat to that, do we get reimbursed for the sol or do we just get tokens?
Um,
Just trying
like
to
I said,
figure out how not to lose money. You know what I'm saying?
by by default, I'm gonna just go up the snapshot. If anyone wants to come to me independently and be like, "Hey, I bought at this amount of time and I didn't know," like that's fine. I think after maybe, there's also things with time zones too. Like someone's gonna be asleep for like 8 hours or something. Like they might be in Asia when we
Yeah,
did this, so they're not awake. They might be at work. It's really like kind of a lot. Like there's so many ways that it could be like a special case that like at a certain point you just have to put your foot down with this kind of thing. But like one by
sure.
one, like I'm down to listen, and like if you want to come make your case. And I don't want to be called a scam artist stuff like, oh, you took my $50. Like it's fine. I'll do that in that individual case, but by default, I'm gonna go off the snapshot, except for the people that come to me one by one like that.
Gotcha, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, like I said, like we're really trying to do this as best we can, but there is like, ultimately, it is like a profitable venture we're trying to do, and we can't just like give out like unlimited money, basically. But you can totally make multiples on what we do by just us doing the project very, very well and trying to do our best. And we just already had a project that did like what, like a 10x. So like if we just do it again, you just got the ability to be on another 10x by default, it seems like. So I mean, it seems like kind of a win-win to me if you're like actually listening to this. So let me see if there's other people in the community still talking. Let's see here. Are you able to please confirm you received my messages and pass on the Ben? I might have my messages sent in a way where you can't like DM me. So it's mostly because like I get so much spam like from people that I can't handle it at a certain point. Um, but yeah, like if you need to hit up another member of the staff, you could hit up Jordana or maybe HLS and just have them contact me. Um, I do have an alt also I could probably give out. I don't really want to because I want to keep that separate, but um, we'll logistically one way or another give you a way to contact us. At the very least, I could put out a Google form, let you fill it out, and just put your case in it, and I'll go take a look at it and just DM you if I have questions about it. But otherwise, I'll just say like, hey, letting you know this goes through. Speaking that out loud, I feel like that's the smartest thing to do. So like I'm gonna probably just go ahead and make this form tonight and just say like, hey, if if you bought or sold after, or if you bought after the snapshot. Give me 1 second. Someone's trying to call me at the same time. If you bought after the snapshot, then you can make your case here. Do you think you should get your tokens? And you can say, oh, I was at work, I was asleep, I was whatever, and I'll just take a look at it. So I think that's the best I can do here logistically, and I'll go make it after this call pretty much and drop it in the chat.
Hey Ben, please don't forget to send me the wallet information so I can.
Yeah, sorry. Let me do that right now. I've just been sitting here talking for like an hour and a half, I feel like. So let me go grab that. This is gonna take me like 2 minutes to do, sorry. But yeah, if anyone else has any other questions at the same time, just let me know. Yeah, I don't really see anything. So I'll leave the video chat open though if anyone has any questions.
I think there's a question at the bottom, Ben, just come in.
How much USD equivalent for 100K wet, just so we can have an idea? I mean, I have to go look at the snapshot of like I believe the price was like 0.0032, so I guess you would just like multiply that by 100,000 to get your answer. I would probably need to get a calculator to do that because my brain is not smart enough to do that math off the top of my head. Probably go do that real fast. 0.0032. I'll put an X. 100,000. This is $320. So that looks about right from what I remember. I'll go like double check that was the price real fast too. Okay, yeah, we did go down quite a bit. It looks like a lot of liquidity was pulled out. I'm just going to double check the time. Yeah, what time is it? That's like 7. That's like 5 p.m. there. I pulled it around here. So yeah, it was about like I have to probably go look at like the exact minute because like it was literally moving, but it was about 0.0032 is what I would say. But it was around like 6 to 50 p.m. So might have to like look. I'm probably just gonna go off it being 0.0032 because that's the easiest. That's what the candle looks like then, and it was technically a green candle then, so works in your guys' favor. So hold on, let me do the address thing I was just saying. Everything on Solana is so slow. It really drives me crazy just trying to do something really simple in here, like get a wallet address. I don't know how people put up with it. Yeah, JW has what I believe is the correct answers on there. I'd have to look back at the first one, like minute by minute again, like the snapshot I did like 22 hours ago or whatever. But it's probably something like that. But I mean, ultimately, for using the higher snapshot, it really comes down to like how much money we're able to raise in relation to it. Um, so like if I want the tokens in the new token to be like 50% that's allocated for V1 holders, we have to raise double that amount basically, and it's like significantly easier when it's a lower market cap. But also, I don't want to take like literally post announcement market cap because I do believe that is unfair. So I'm not going to take like 5 or whatever. That would be a bunch of bullshit. I've seen people do that. It's like a scam when they do that.
Yeah, I think Ben, you should seriously think about investing. Even if it's not a long period, but some vesting of some sort.
I do agree. I just want to make sure the community is like basically okay with it. But if people have a stomach for it, they're not gonna like freak out or anything. Like definitely what we should be doing.
Yeah, and it's good for all of us,
Ultimately,
because,
yeah.
What I've seen with teams that are launching projects these days is, if you put too much in a liquidity pool, you give away too much control to people that can snipe and dump on you, right? So we counting on people that were part of version V1, to hold, to help the project. So that's one thing that I'm very happy about, because if we have some holders coming in that hold, say, like 50% of the supply, and they are willing to hold, that's going to help the project. compared to if you were to launch and have like 80% of the tokens in the pool, people are going to buy cheap and dump on you, right? So yeah, I think some type of vesting schedule, needs to be in place. And again, it's going to help us going into the new token, and it's also going to, inspire some confidence in the new investors coming in, because
Yeah, I
I'm
agree with that
always
fully.
skeptical about, oh man, these guys are going to dump on me, right?
Right. That's how
Yeah.
exactly they looked at it. And so it's just something to think about, outside of yourself as an investor, like,
Hmm.
the overall idea of the token and how do you logistically actually make a big return on it. And it may involve you not having access to your tokens for an extra day or two or something like that, because that means it forces everybody to buy or at least not sell, and it gives the token a time to actually go up to give you exit liquidity to begin with that does not damage the token overall. If I was to put a vest on this, I would put it over the course of a week, being split in 4 parts. You get 25%, let's say hour 3 after the token, like very shortly afterwards, so it can have that initial pump. Then 25% 24 hours later, 25% 3 days later, and 25% 7 days later. And I think that would be the best way I can think to design it, because people aren't getting a huge amount where they can all dump at once. It kind of gets it out of the way. You can also kind of like time it then, like we can do marketing around it at the same time. So like it kind of offsets like people getting their tokens. Um, I think that's the smartest way I can do it. I mean, we could divide it like way further than that, but and we could be harsher than that. Like, oh, you get your tokens 3 months from now, but that's like stupid ridiculous in this
Well, I,
environment. So
I I invested in a pre-sale, and I went in very big, and they are giving me 50% at launch, and the
mhm.
remaining 50% are going to be locked for 2 months. You know,
We could do something like that, but I think that's like too intense for Solana. Like
yeah.
that's such a long wait for people. So I think over the course of 1 week is probably as much as I'd personally want to push it, and just kind of put it in chunks so we can like work off of that basically. And I think it's really key having that window right at launch where we don't like offset our pump, too much by people getting their tokens back and selling at the same time. I think that would be like super key to the health of this. So if you guys are fine with it, we'll talk about it over the next day or so. If you want to drop in chat, your ideas on any of this. Um, I would like to do that type of vesting. I think it would go a really long way, and we'll probably all make a lot more money in that regard. But if you have serious reservations about that or pushback, let us know. We'll take the community's thoughts and feelings into it in consideration.
Okay. Or it could be voluntary too, right?
What, like you voluntarily put your vesting in?
Yeah.
I've never. Do people really do that? Like, if you give them an option, they're like, yeah, sure, I'll vest.
No, I haven't really seen that, but I'm just saying that, yeah, because I mean, some of us are holders, right? I went in big on wet, and I never sold a single token, even at the highest market cap, right? So some of the whales, that I know never sold a single token. So
Yeah,
that's more of a like voluntary vesting.
I did take a look at like, the wallets. I was aware of who it was, and I am aware that you in particular are somebody that held. So, um, I do appreciate that, like having people that even when like the token's super down, you like sit there, believing in what we're doing. So it's really people like you that are like holding into the token that makes me want to like keep working on this like indefinitely, like trying to make sure that it works well, because we have people that, put like their time and effort and money into it, and I want to like make sure I can pay that back by trying really, really hard to to make this successful, pretty much.
Yeah, I just want to chime in and say I can tell that you're putting in a lot of effort, and I think that's really awesome. I appreciate the transparency that you're having, and also taking into account the individual circumstances and being willing to go down to that level, which a lot of people, a lot of founders, a lot of projects wouldn't bother to do that. And not doing that is exactly how you lose the trust of the Web3 community. And by going into that effort, by talking the way that you're talking here in this VC, it's huge in terms of being able to build that trust. And I just want to express my appreciation for that. I'm one of those people going through the individual circumstance route because of the limit order. I was the guy from before, but I just wanted to
Yeah, I
chime in and
saw.
say that makes a big difference, man. Big difference.
Yeah, no problem. Like me even talking all like this is literally from experience. This is like the 10th project I've been like on staff for or marketer or co-owner of or something like that. So I've, seen all these problems with these types of things previously. And also like honestly like the way we just kind of like announced it was a little like we could have been like maybe a little more organized about it, I think, right on the spot. So like I felt like it definitely like we had to wrap back around, make sure, people, really understand what we're doing. But also like, I've seen so many relaunches and migrations and stuff and airdrops where like, just things get messed up and then you have people in the chat that are like freaking out. And then like literally this happened to me like a day ago. There was a project that I threw in on their private sale, just like a little bag, and like I didn't get my tokens. So I'm like sitting there like blowing up the owner, being like, "Where's my tokens? Where's my tokens?" And I know he's getting like 1,000 DMs at the same time, but I still want my money. I'm still gonna hit him up, and eventually it was corrected, like at an inopportune time, So like I know all this in advance. Like all these like crazy things that can happen with every individual person. Plus, I know like it's the community that like really makes or breaks these things. It's not like the magic of crypto marketing. It's not like the owners are like really based and amazing. It's gonna come down to like person to person, like telling their friends and just really holding and wanting to be a part of the community that really makes or breaks like is this successful? And that's what I've seen in the
Mm,
past when I'm on a token for like, 8 months straight or something, like day after day after day. And it's also like when I see like, day after day of a token, I really have in my head like, this is just day one, this is just day two. So like I have no sense of panic or anything with the chart going down or up because I know that it will just keep going and going, and there's all kinds of chances and ways for it to go up in the future, and I'm okay to be here indefinitely because I mentioned like I don't have a regular job. I just like make enough money from my other business to just put time and effort into this. It's fine, pretty much, and I like doing that stuff. I like crypto. Like I find it pretty interesting. So I am here to indefinitely for you guys to try to make a bunch of money, and I'll try at the same time. And I will also not get a ridiculous bag and dump on you guys. I will do it in some little baby DCA at small amounts of time and not affect the chart. And I'm fine doing it that way. Um, so that's the best I can say. I don't want to make a rug or even something that looks like a slow rug. Just work within the limitations of what I think is fair and ethical, and that's all I can do.
yeah, man, I could not agree more. It's all about the community and Web3. I've seen projects that have millions of dollars in backing that have fallen to shit and had their ridiculously because of how they've abused the community and not taken on the community. And when you build the way that you're doing, that's how you build the trust. I know, for example, when you do that pre-sale, uh, by honoring the way that you're honoring things and being transparent in that way, like I'm gonna ape a lot more than what I just lost, or didn't lose, thanks to you being transparent and taking into account the individual circumstance. I'm going to ape a lot more than that into the pre-sale, so I'll be making up for that um, by being involved in the more deeply in the new token. And I think you're going to find, I know you know this because, like you said, you've done 10 is like your 10th project. You're deep in the space, you know what you're talking about. I can tell you know what you're talking about. And you're gonna get the whole community backing you in such a big way by moving transparently like how you are. So yeah, man, hats off to you and Jordana and the whole team.
It's really appreciated hearing that, because it's like maybe like 2 hours ago we're hearing about how we're like, criminals and we're stealing everybody's money. So just having, after having this open dialogue, hearing from people being like, hey, maybe these guys are all right. It does go a long way for us personally, like just literally
Mm.
like the emotional toil like day after day of having
I can
thousands of people
imagine.
talking to you, of it being
Mm.
kind of negative. Like if you get that bits of positivity in there, it really does like go a long way.
Yeah, man, like recognition's got to be given where it's due. And I think it's natural in crypto where there's so, like, that's the thing with crypto, because it's the Wild West and 99% of things are scams and we're so used to it that when something's, when a curveball gets thrown, your initial reaction is to judge it. And I mean, I'll admit, I was personally pretty scared. I was like, oh man, did I just like get fucked? That's what crosses your mind. But
Yeah, and that's
that's just the
normal.
nature of crypto. And but when you handle it the way you handle it, you quickly can turn the narrative around, and that's what you're doing. And so well done. I'm really looking forward to being a part of the new thing. And that's where like learning who the good actors in crypto are is so much more important than it is in everyday life. I mean, it's generally important, right? If people are number one, you always want to be able to trust the people that you work with. No matter where you are in life. But in Web 2, in everyday life, you got laws, you got securities, kind of laws, you got government agencies, you got the police. There are all kinds of institutions set up in everyday life to kind of help minimize the risk that you're at from bad actors. And you don't have, and of course you still have to be careful, but it's not the same extent that you have to be careful in Web3 because there aren't any of those institutional protections. And that's of course the great power of crypto too. That's the great power of blockchain and Web3 is that you don't get all the bad parts of those institutions, the way that they can control you. But that's where, we're having the people and learning who the people are that you can trust. And one of the reasons I'm here is because of Jordana through FanX. I mean, I know how I saw how she was working through FanX. I saw how she was turning things around in such a positive way there. And then seeing her here was, okay, I can trust this project. And now that and then, you had I had that moment where I'm like, oh crap, did I make a mistake? But then I go into this TG and into the voice chat and I see the way that you're handling everything. I get to know you more, Ben, and hear you speak. And I go, okay, yeah, this is now I'm adding another person to the list of people that you can trust. We're not North Korean scammers or something. So I think it's a really helpful exercise.
Yeah, I appreciate the feedback on it. And I mean, I've ran like quite a few different communities, either as like, admin on it or moderator or just somehow like in a position of power in the community. Um, and like it really comes down to that in the long term. Like you have all the people that buy and sell, day one, hour one, now like minute one with like these sniping platforms. Um, but they come and go. And then you have these like community people that like, the real people that show up in your Twitter and your Telegram. And, when you put out a tweet, they're going to be the one to like it. And those people that are key that like, you're not like literally paying them to do these things. They're like organically want to support you. Like those are like high quality people. And it doesn't matter how much you buy either. I don't care if you're a whale or you bought like 1 penny. If you're putting in like engagement into the community, like putting in that effort organically, like that is like literally like gold to me, Like I think it goes such a long way. Just people see it, people see real accounts. When you have like shillers and they're like doing actions that you paid for, like people can sense the artificial nature of it, So
Yeah,
like
totally.
if I went there and paid 100 people to do actions, on Twitter, it's just gonna be like, oh my God, going to the moon is crazy. And then if there's like 5 people that like organically, like yourself, like seem to understand like the project, may talk about it elsewhere, it's like so meaningful. So I appreciate you being here in the community, and I'm glad that you're staying on. And I think we'll do a lot of big things together. And like honestly, like if we launch this token, it goes up, it goes down, and then we just hit a bottom and go sideways for a while, like I hope you stick around for that as well, because we very well may have just random huge pumps from things that we don't even control. Like Solana could just go up a ton, or the
Exactly.
Bitcoin halving could make everything go up, or we do something that just
Pornhub could get
randomly
banned.
becomes viral. There's like
Yeah.
so much stuff that can happen like past the initial like pump and dump of just that just naturally happens.
Hmm. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And it's also the little things are kind of indications of what happens with the bigger things too, right? So like when you make the right decisions with small things, they tend to just naturally then reflect in the bigger picture.
And I will say, just for the recording, I did not pay this person to say these things. He's just saying his reaction to what we're doing. So it's very appreciated, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. You're definitely not getting paid.
All right. Well, I'll go take a look. If anyone else wants to ask anything, talk in the community, I'm here. I'll maybe stick around maybe another 20 minutes.
Yeah, there's someone in the chat, but just asked a question. DeFi Samurai.
DeFi Samurai. I hate the bug, but will I get replacement tokens if I bought about 3 minutes ago? Is he listening right now in here?
He's not in here, no. I told him to
Okay.
join, but he hasn't joined yet.
Yeah, I mean, like it would be like I said, like the kind of case by case thing. Like if they're like, oh, I didn't see it until now and I bought. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like I could go either way on it. I have to kind of think about it like case by case. Like if someone bought tokens afterwards, like they just got a really good deal. So like I don't know, why I'm giving them tokens for that in particular. But I mean, maybe some way or another they like feel a certain way about it. But I mean, that's how I'd look at it. Like, okay, the price is so low, you bought in, you can make way more money with it. So we gave you technically an opportunity because there's still a liquidity pool open. But yeah, I'll make the forum right after this, just to put it up for anybody that has any, we'll call it extenuating circumstances of, how they feel like they may have had their money messed up or something like that from just the way we announce this. There's really no good way to do this kind of thing, honestly, when you announce a relaunch. Like, you can't just like do it in steps. Like, you can tell people in advance and give them like, 3 days or something to sell or buy in that period. But usually, if you do that kind of thing, like, once you do it, like the price is so low and the liquidity pool's drained that like it kind of defeats the purpose of like us even trying to pull liquidity to begin with, which is just to have, some base of like marketing money and stuff to work off of. Like it's ultimately not to like line our pockets. Like we raised like 75K, I think total, like pre-launch, and like we did not hand ourselves any of that. Like we used that all in marketing, like legitimately. We really didn't make that much money on it, on this token. What was the lesson learned for this launch that could be helpful in the next version? Can you please elaborate? Oh, you were already in here. Yeah, I can answer on that. Um, I think like just seeing what the environment is in 2024 and crypto on Solana, like after seeing it doing the actual launch, seeing how people react to things, really does help quite a bit. I think, if you put out something that you're saying is a meme coin and you put utility on it, it doesn't do anything in this day and age. It might have done that in like 2021 or something, but people that are just buying it on a meme are not they're not engaged in that kind of thing. So I think we do want to kind of reframe this second token to be something a bit more. It's not like it's serious, but it's we're putting out there like we're doing something with it. It's not just like token for the sake of token, so that people kind of come in mind like knowing like hey there's things that we're going to be doing in the future and we're going to be working on this and that. And you also don't want to overpromise when you do those types of things, but I think just getting the tone right on like the token itself for the type of people that buy it will go a long way. Like people will still buy and sell either way because that's just what's happening on this blockchain. But I think a lot of people came in, just for a pump, and we wanted to kind of do more than that. We wanted to do like, just interesting business ideas that we thought we could bring to the table. So I don't think we've even like really discussed, like our concept of V2. We have like a bit of something that we could probably do maybe a call tomorrow on or announcement tomorrow on of just like the actual token idea. It's still like adult and everything like that, but we have a very cool idea we basically want to do with it. And I'll let Jordana speak on that when she's probably awake, because I know it's super late there your time. Um, so maybe we could do that like tomorrow. How do you feel on that, Jordana?
Hey Ben, I got a quick question for you. If you got a second after this.
Sure.
Yeah, you can go ahead. You can ask your question now if you like.
Thank you so much, sweetheart. So I bought about 5-10 minutes ago after I looked up and saw how bad it got dumped, And so I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
fuck yeah. And then I come into the room and Joe Dennis said that you guys have already done a snapshot for issuing replacement tokens. Am I
Mhm.
not going to be getting replacement tokens since I just bought a few minutes ago?
Well, whatever you had at the snapshot, you'll get that amount. So like I did it like at this point like 3 hours ago or something like that pre-announcement. So if you had anything in your wallets, then you'll get those tokens. Um, the way I see it, like if you sold tokens afterwards and you like didn't see the announcement, you feel a certain way about it. Like I'm down like one-on-one to like discuss like how that person feels like they owe this money, and we probably will just give them the tokens in that regard unless it's something like it's not feasible. If you bought tokens afterwards, I mean like there's a liquidity pool on there, right? Like you can like buy and sell it right now. So like I don't know if it makes sense to actually just give you more tokens based on a buy afterwards, like even if you didn't know, because you're just getting like it's what you said, like it's just a really good price. I don't believe we actually have the ability to pull the full LP. So like you can totally buy and sell it and it probably still will get like volume on it for like, at least another week or something, I guess at least. So
Yeah, sure,
I
I can
mean,
get money back for this purchase, but if there was a chance I was getting the replacement tokens, I would hold on to them and just burn that little buy, you know?
yeah, I mean, I would say like did you have anything in your wallet like 3 hours ago?
3 hours ago, I had gotten rid of them this morning when I saw that they were still dropping.
How about
So
how about this? If you want to
three
like
hours ago, I had
send
nothing in my wallet.
if you want to send your tokens to us, like we could totally give you an airdrop for it. Like if you want to do it that way, it makes sense in that regard.
Uh, I mean, sure. You want me to just send them to you guys so you can burn them or something?
Well, we're probably gonna sell them for like some of the LP so that we can add to like the funding for the second token, like the marketing for like the pre-sale. Like that's why we specifically pulled LP for.
Gotcha.
Um, so like we don't have enough to do it ourselves, right? So we could also put out just in a form, if you want to voluntarily send us, tokens for us to be able to add to our marketing fund would be super helpful, not, fully necessary. We pulled out enough to, be able to do some stuff for like a pre-sale, but it's like the more the merrier, like there's no like if you could have $1 million to spend on it, like that
Yeah,
would be great,
yeah,
so
absolutely.
um I'll maybe like put that out there, like if anyone wants to. If you do that, we will give you an airdrop. Like we can maybe have that open for like a day or two for us to collect what you have.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
regardless of like the snapshot being from before, if you send extra tokens past that, we can just basically give you two airdrops in that regard. So I don't want you to feel like somehow, some way you lose in sending that in. It's
no, I
just
think
really
that'd be
helpful
my
for
best
us.
bet, bro. I think that'd be my best bet because I honestly had gotten rid of them just this morning because I saw the market still dropping, and then by the time I looked back, they had dropped dramatically, and I was like, oh fuck yes, and then I thought I wasn't going to get anything from that airdrop. So if I can send you those tokens right now, I'll send them to you right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably make. I think it sounds like I need to make two forms. So I'm gonna make one, I guess, for extenuating circumstances, and then a second one for, hey, if you want to voluntarily send us, your wet tokens so that we can pull further LP and like have this like fully explained in there. Like here's our, our wallet address for our safe that we can then go, use to sell for that. No pressure. You don't have to do it. It's an open market. You can just keep them, sell them for yourself or whatever. But if you do that, like you'll get them back in the airdrop, and it's super appreciated basically. So
Yeah,
it'll probably take me like 45 minutes to make both forms and put them out there, but I'll pin them in the chat probably in the next hour or so, like once I jump out of this in like 10 minutes.
perfect, man. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Hey Ben,
yo, yo, Ben, what's up?
Pick one at a time. Go in order.
Ben,
Go ahead.
what's going on? I just checked my wallet and I checked the chat. I discovered that it's just something different. I thought I was dreaming.
Yeah, we just announced we're doing a relaunch, so we pulled like some of the LP that we had the ability for to have for like marketing funds for like a V2 token like pre-sale. Um, so we did a snapshot before we announced this. So you will be getting an airdrop of like whatever tokens you had at that snapshot. It was like approximately 3 hours ago.
Okay.
And then if you like bought or sold anything afterwards, I mean, we can discuss if like somehow like you feel like you're owed anything. But I think where we've kind of landed on this is if you bought tokens afterwards, you can send them in and we'll send you back for an airdrop, or you can just sell them independently with the remaining liquidity. It's up to you. Um, and then separate than that, if you like sold like right afterwards and you just like didn't see like the announcement or anything like that, I'm open to just discussing just including that in the airdrop as well. We'll kind of take it one by one, but that's pretty much it. We're looking to
Okay.
relaunch the token like ASAP.
Okay. Let me get this right.
Yeah,
So
go
you're
ahead.
trying to say that if I'm holding the token for like the first day it was, I think I got it the first day it was launched.
Hmm.
So and I'm still holding. I think I just sell a little portion and I'm still holding the rest. So the snapshot have been taken already, and I'm gonna get an airdrop for that, or I can still
That's
send you
correct.
the remaining token.
We could go either way on it. Like both things are fine. Like if you send it to us, it's actually super helpful, and then I can just include it in the snapshot anyways. Um, so I
Okay.
just like
Okay.
basically just go add it to a spreadsheet like manually. So if you want to like specifically send them in, I'm gonna make a form for this probably like right after this, like within about an hour or so, and just put that up. And then if you want to send, it's up to you. I'm gonna leave it open to the community. Like you don't have to do it or anything, but it would be super helpful for us to like gather up like marketing funds.
Okay. I understand. I understand. I get it now. I get it now.
Okay,
I
yeah,
get it.
appreciate you
So
jumping in.
so I actually, what actually happened to this token? Why do you want to launch a different one?
Well, I mean, we want just like a V2 of this pretty much, with just maybe like a mild reframing, but still with kind of like the adult themes and almost certainly on Solana after kind of talking this out. Um, so it's just more, it's like a variety of things. Like one, we had like some issues with just certain people that were pumping and dumping the charts, and it really made us
Yeah,
burn
yeah,
through a lot of our marketing funds. Um, so like we're personally low on marketing funds right now, and it just becomes very difficult to like pump a token like organically. Like you totally can, and it's like something we've done before, but it's like a long-term thing of like building up the community. Um, so we felt like, there's an opportunity right now. Like Solana's got all this volume. If we do a V2, we'll probably raise a lot more money. We could just pull the trigger on this real fast and probably get it out there, by like Monday of next week or something like that.
So
And
when are
we
we expecting the new launch, the new
say that
token?
again.
When are we expecting the new token?
Like I said, we want to do it like literally ASAP. So I think like if you do like a sale over the weekend, it usually just gets like a depressed amount of like buys. You usually want to do it during the week. So we'd probably do like a pink sale or gem pad
Okay.
on like Monday.
Okay. Like I'm
Go-
trying to say something. I think the first time you launched wet, I think you did a private sale, yeah.
That's correct, yes.
And I think that the people that bought private sale actually dumped, and it was not looking nice, you know. So
Honestly,
I
there's definitely some people that did, but it was nowhere near as much as you'd expect. A lot of them were people that knew us, and I knew like their wallets. There was like many people that bought in and just held and are like literally still in this like chat right here. There was definitely some that became, like I said, like kind of troublemakers and were messing with the chart. But those people have already exited, so we're kind of in a good place with all this. So I feel pretty good about moving forward with it. Excuse me one second. I'm gonna put myself on mute because I'm about to give water to my dog.
yeah, okay, because actually, whenever I just woke up and I checked my wallet, I was like, "What's going on?" I just checked the chart, discovered that the chart is all kind of different. I was like, "What's happening?" So I have to come to TG and check what's going on. And I was so lucky you guys are here. I love the vibe. I love what's going on. I love the community, and I want to be part of the community as well. So you said that your snapshot is taken already, so I don't think I have a fear. If I'm going to send back the token, just let me know. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, it would definitely be helpful. Like I said, I'll put up a form for this in a little bit. I just have to make sure like all the the right parameters are in there, so it's easy for me to convert to the snapshot and just add to the spreadsheet for it. Um, so definitely appreciate the kind words. Like I know when people see
And
like
and
the
and
chart,
how
it definitely
and
scares
how
them.
and
So
okay, I'm sorry. And how are you going to
oh, go
be
ahead.
sure that your wallet was included in the snapshot? You know,
Like my own wallet. I mean, my own
my
wallet.
my my
Oh, your
wallet, my
wallet.
wallet.
Excuse me.
How will I be sure that my wallet is included in the snapshot so that I will
I
not
mean,
be?
it literally just goes off SoulScan. Somebody did mention something about BunkBot earlier, like maybe not showing up on SoulScan. So I probably am going to look into that independently, and then if
Yeah, because
necessary, I'll put out a form for that
yeah,
as well.
yeah, yeah. Because my wallet from a bunk boat. I
Yeah,
use bunk boat.
send me your wallet address independently. I actually just want to look into this, like just investigate it a bit to see if like the snapshot did actually pull those
Okay.
addresses or not. If not, I'll just manually put out something saying if you bought this way and this
I
is where your
can't,
tokens were, please let me know what it
I can't,
was.
I can't actually send you your DM right now, so I don't know why.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I have it set in a certain way. What is this is Jay, is that correct?
Yeah. G.
Give me 1 second, I'll message you.
Okay.
All
Hey
right.
Ben,
Yeah, if you just want to
also
send me your address directly, I'll actually investigate it a bit just to see if like I need to pull those addresses manually or not, and then just kind of go from there, like making sure
Yeah.
everybody gets paid. How I really want to
I've
do it
sent
is
it.
like we have like a day or so in between the pre-sale and the actual like launch where we can just like send out the airdrops and correct anything that goes wrong with it because it's like kind of impossible to do it like literally 100% properly. There's always something.
Yeah. I've
um,
sent it. Check it out.
I also had another question for you, Ben, that I think some other people might be interested in knowing. Um,
Sure.
the OnlyFans promo that you guys did.
I'm not sure exactly which one you mean, but I
Uh,
go on.
it was the OnlyFans promo where you subscribe to,
Oh, right. Yeah, the platform, right. Gotcha.
right? Yeah. And you would get. Are you guys going to be sending out the V2 tokens for payment for
Yeah,
those, or?
and we really didn't see like that much people like use it. So like it's not really much like unless a lot of people are going to use it, I guess in the meantime. Like how it probably will really go down with it is once we have, the second like fund, we'll probably just like divvy up like some funds to just be marketing towards that platform to get users using it. As of right now, like none of the airdrops were actually like completed, like the orders that were in there that were like I think
It
the
had to
lowest
reach
ones were like
the
50.
bounty. They had to reach the
Yeah,
bounty.
we have it as like a bounty. Like on the back end, like it's actually these people paying for traffic, right? So
Right. Right.
there's like a fixed amount of like fans to get, and like I have to get that, or like I have to give like their money back basically. So
Okay.
um, we can only do the payout like at that moment. But I suppose if like somehow in like the next couple days, like without me like specifically like really pushing it, it like finishes one of those orders, then. Um, yeah, we'd probably get the V2 token, I guess, but we'd have to do it like a couple days later after we actually have it or have everything logistically sound for it. The way I really wanted to do it was, okay, order is finished. I go actually buy the token, so it puts a green candle on the chart with a certain amount of like the profit margin,
Mhm.
and then like use that for the airdrop itself. So not just like giving out tokens, but like we actually like did a buyback basically like in this whole process. So we probably won't be able to do that till like the charts like live to do that, and that's what I optimally want to do. So
Okay.
um probably yeah, it would just be delayed basically a couple days, I'd say. But I don't expect this issue to occur because like I think I really need to like push it further to get a lot of users on it. But I'm
Well,
not worried about that also. There's like almost so many ways to do that.
I was also going to ask if are you going to do another pink sale or another pre-sale, whatever.
Yeah, that's
For,
what we're trying to do here is probably pink sale, unless like, there's something else that makes more sense. I mean, I can say internally, like myself and Jordana have like we know people at pink sale that work there that can just assist with it in like all these different ways. So like it works very smoothly, just like us working with that platform. So likely there, unless there's something else that just somehow makes more sense. They also have just like the most traffic, I think. So like it usually gets like the most random buyers doing that kind of thing. So
Yeah. That
probably
makes
there.
sense.
Do you have to be
So
whitelisted?
Ben,
to resell?
have you checked the wallet? I've sent you the wallet, Ben.
Oh yeah, I see it now. Yeah, I'm not like doing the research this moment because I'm like mid talking, but over the course of like the next few hours, I'll just gonna look into
Okay.
it and see if it makes sense. Plus, like the initial spreadsheet and start adding people to it and correcting things. Um, all right. So what were you about to say? You said something about whitelisting.
So Ben,
I
Ben,
was I was asking if you
so
have to be. Go ahead, Jay.
okay, so I'm gonna ask a question like, how is it possible? Are you guys still gonna have a private store?
I don't think we'll do a private sale again. I mean, I guess we could. I mean, it wouldn't be bad to do maybe like a very brief one, just literally 'cause so for like we can have a bigger marketing budget. Like that might make sense. I mean, I wasn't gonna do that a second time just because like we literally already did one, but um I'm open to it if any, if you guys want to like throw in on that, like we could probably do something really brief for like a very small amount of solar or something like that. Um, I
Yeah, I
guess
would say.
let us know.
I had a
Yeah, I would
suggestion
say.
for
Yeah,
you, man.
yeah. So it's cool. It's cool if you're gonna have a private store. If I don't know if
I'm open to
possible.
it.
Okay, so
I mean, like it's tokenomically possible. It's like more difficult mathematically to like work all these things in tandem, but it really just comes down to probably setting a fairly high soft cap and then making sure we hit this threshold so we don't hit a point of failure where nothing can like we can't like mathematically give everyone their tokens back. So, but I'm not really that worried about it just because like everything's raising like so much money on Pink Sale right now, so like it's fine.
Can I
okay.
offer a
We also have
suggestion?
Gem.
But it's still gonna be on Solana chain, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, we're discussing it. I mean, I think, in the discussions we've had over the last couple hours here of the community, like, if we were to move the base, or like anywhere else, like anything else, pretty much, like, there's like a conversion of these like tokens being airdropped that would be like significantly more messy. Like, we can do it, but it's kind of a lot, so I'm a little thinking against that and just thinking Solana, but we haven't I've been on like this call live the whole time. We haven't internally discussed it yet, of, like where we're exactly going.
Okay.
Almost certainly, like I'm thinking Solana, honestly, still, even though like this chain is so slow, it's so annoying.
I think Jordana was trying to say something right now, and I also.
Where's Jordana? I want to
Oh
hear
yeah.
Jordana's voice.
Hey, you guys. Yeah, I was just saying that we do have gem pad as well, as an option for the pre-sale because we were in talks with them before, but they hadn't added Soul Chain at the time of our launch, but they've added it now, so we do have gem pad as an option.
Yeah, and we'll discuss it internally, just exactly where we want to go, getting this all scheduled and stuff like that. I don't. We'll see what's the best course. Whichever one makes the most sense, we'll pick.
If it is going to be a private sale again, are all of the original holders of the token during this version of the token, are they going to be automatically whitelisted for the private sale?
I mean, I'd say 100% of that. I mean, that sounds fully fair. I don't know why I'd do anything otherwise.
Cool. I just wanted to throw that out there.
I mean, it sounds like you guys have a bit of an appetite for it, so like,
Absolutely.
I wouldn't mind doing it.
I've been holding Pleasure Coin since it was triple X Nifty on BNB
Yeah.
about 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay, so you were there when I was there.
Yes, many moons ago. Before they changed the name and before they went to the
Yeah.
V2, I had the V1 token.
Yeah, I worked under the original owner, and then one day he came to me and he's like, "I am so tired of running this token. Do you want it?" And I was like, "Okay." And so like I became co-owner with myself and he's actually on this token as well, Maverick, not on staff, but he just was in the community. And we were running it together for probably a good 8 months before it transferred over to like the whale group that's running it now. But I had a wonderful time running that token. That was like the first token I just really liked the community, had a good time. It just pumped so well. We like I know certain people became like millionaires off that token that were just like right there at the right time. So I'm pretty proud of having that on my resume, honestly.
That's awesome. It's just
Yeah,
great. That's a great project.
I want to be a millionaire with West token.
Yeah, I think it's totally possible on wet, like, just like getting all these like tokens and private and pre-sale that, one of them just, like it doesn't even take that much, if you get in on like that early market cap and it goes to like, 30 million
Yeah,
or something like that,
I've,
like you're like golden.
I'm already having you already, so I'm looking up to that.
Yeah, I guess go ahead.
A quick one. I did send you a test Solana. Can you just verify and let me know so I can send the rest?
Yeah, you'll need to go check. The safe was just being super slow, so I'll go see if it's actually like loading now.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I could look on the blockchain, but I'd like to see it visually.
Okay. Yeah, as a
So,
safety measure, I usually don't send all at once. Got it.
no, I do too. There was one time I lost like $2,000, and I was like, never again.
Yeah. I always test with a small amount.
Yeah, like even if I know it's gonna work, like I just do that to like a wallet for the first time, no matter what, because like you never know in this crazy world.
I just did that about an hour ago with SEI token, and I tested 0.1 of a token and sent it to the Kepler wallet. And I went back to go send the rest of it, and Bitrue, they suspended withdrawals for now. I was like, you fucking guys. For me.
So, I think it was James. You said you sent a soul. Was that correct?
No, I sent like I think 0.001 something.
All right, I'm actually in the wallet. It's just trying to find the transactions in here.
Yeah, let me see if I can.
It looks like you did though, as far as I can tell.
So it
I'm
came to,
seeing the. Let's see
yeah,
here.
I sent 0.001. So
And you sent it to like that QCN
Soul
wallet.
or
yeah.
send the wet token? I don't understand.
So
Say that again.
Is you gonna send Soul or you gonna send the wet token? I don't
I
get
mean,
it.
you can just send the wet token. Like, you don't have to pre-sell it for us. Like, you can. Like, that's fine. I mean, I was just in the form I put out, just say the token. Just
Can you
James
get me?
specifically was someone that we had talked in DMs of just like, hey, we know you have a lot of the token. Could you help us out? Trying to pull liquidity. So he has like a whole separate conversation that's just not been publicly in this chat basically. So he's reacting to something else.
Okay. I'm actually in. I mean, so how am I gonna send the token to you?
Is that wallet?
I'll put up a form like after this chat of just, hey, here's if you want to send us tokens, here's the way to do it, and we'll include you in the airdrop. I think of how I would probably need to do it is like, okay, if like these
So
tokens were already included in the airdrop,
Ben,
like I'll just give like a
Ben,
bonus maybe. I need to think it out.
Ben.
Yeah, go ahead.
So is there gonna be a reward for people that send back the token apart from
It's literally what I was just saying.
airdrop?
Literally what I was just
Oh,
saying. I have to like think it out a
okay.
bit.
Yeah, I think there should be a reward for people sending back the token apart from the airdrop they're gonna
Yeah,
get from.
yeah, I don't mind like trying to think of something that makes sense one way or another.
That would be perfect. There's one thing about projects. When you make your community smile, the project is gonna smile as well. People will love the project
Pretty
and will have a
much.
good.
Literally what I've been trying to do here is just make sure everybody's like okay. And I know like we'll probably have to come back on like when Europe wakes up and they're gonna be freaking out separately.
Yeah.
But we'll deal with it. Like I think we can do this
I love,
as much
I
as we
hey
love, I
man,
can.
love what you're
go
doing.
ahead and send the
I love
rest.
it.
Say that again?
I'm gonna go ahead and send the rest right now.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Just make sure it's that one that ends in QCN. And that's also the wallet like I'll put out publicly. It's just like our like initial like private sale wallet that we're just putting funds into again.
So is he sending for the private sale?
No, I'm not, we have not announced some secondary private sale. I'm just saying like this is a wallet we had from the first one that we're just gathering
No,
tokens in to be able to
I
pull
just,
LP for again.
I just want to understand what's good, what you're doing with King James and what's going on right now. I just want to understand. Like, what is
So
you
we
sending
went
to?
to just a couple high holders of the token that we were aware of just from like previous knowledge. And we had said, hey, we only have so many tokens. We're trying to pull LP. We're doing this relaunch. Can you help us by just helping us pull the LP, and then we'll give you back your tokens in the airdrop. And so a couple people helped us out with it basically, and he's just one of them basically. So, and it's like super
Oh, oh,
appreciated as well. So.
oh,
Um,
that's
we hadn't like put that out publicly before like me talking here, but I was gonna probably after having this conversation, put out a forum like if anyone else wants to be a part of that, here's how. You mentioned having a reward, and I'm open to that.
yeah,
I just have to think about what makes sense, what's fair, and probably come up with that, and I'll come back with something on that.
that's good. That's good. I love that. So just looking up to the form when it's available. I'm gonna send my own token right away.
Sure, yeah, we appreciate it. All it really does is just helps us like spend more for marketing on the V2, so just pretty much helps pump your bag. So works out for everybody. I am getting pretty tired because I've been talking here for like I think it's been like a good like 2.5 hours or something. So if there's a few more questions, I'll take it, but I'd probably like to take a break for a minute and then probably come back when Europe wakes up in like 4 hours.
Yeah, you're good, man. Thank you. It's much appreciated. I shot you a DM, by the way, so whenever
Yeah, I
pop
see
that,
on here.
cool. Whenever you pop that form
Um,
out, or shoot
Yeah,
it
I'll
over.
have to go one by one. Like there's like quite a lot of like labor I need to do to just go through all this, but I will probably pop an Adderall and knock all this out overnight.
If you need any help as well, I'm down to help you guys.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely probably things at the very least, if you just want to like stick around the community when you see people coming and they're like, hey, what's going on? Just, you can let them know, like just at least from the knowledge I've said here, to your best of your ability, what's going on. Or we'll probably put up pin posts and just, you could say, read the pin post, something like that. If you also
Absolutely.
just want to be like a moderator or something, like I'm open to just like people that organically just want to, help out with the community doing that kind of thing.
Sign me up.
Sure, I mean, that sounds great.
Right on. Thank you, man.
Yeah, no problem. I'll look in the chat. Otherwise, I'm probably gonna dip out in a moment. Let's see here. What's the difference between Fanix and Wet? I don't know if this person's in here. It says Crip Cow. Oh, you are in here. Gotcha. I see you asking a bunch of questions in here. Let's see. Why a relaunch? What's the difference between Fanix and Wet? What's the point of difference using AI model? I mean, it's kind of a lot of things break down there. It's kind of going more into the product and the token that we haven't really discussed here. So, I mean, I have like mentioned a few times in here what's going on, but you probably came in later. That's fine. This will be a recording I can drop into the chat afterwards, but just for the short term of you understanding this now, essentially we're doing a relaunch just because we think that's the best course of action for getting the token to be successful. We pulled some amount of the LP that we're able to on our own a couple hours ago. A snapshot was taken right before that. So you will be getting an airdrop of your tokens from then, like pre-token going down in price, from before like anyone had any knowledge of the announcement. Um, and then separately, I mean, you asked a bunch of stuff about the kind of like the products and things that we could be doing. I mean, I actually was on staff for an AI girlfriend company as a director of marketing, like previous to this token. So I can actually go super deep on like what I think are the benefits of AI porn versus actual porn. I'm a little tired, so if I talk about that, I'm gonna go like 45 minutes deep into that probably. But basically, like it's something that can make a lot of money that's about to probably like overturn the adult industry like probably within this or next year, and it's a really huge opportunity for anyone that can get in on it. Um, the difference between the two tokens, I mean, I'm actually like pretty good friends with Callum from Front Fans. I'm not going to say anything negative about them as a token. I've known him for over a year. I also work with him in the OnlyFans space. He's pretty chill dude. So, I don't really believe in like token competitiveness, where it's like, oh, you're not allowed to buy anything else or talk about anything else in the chat. Like I don't really care personally. Um, but I guess to say a differentiator, like, just in terms of like buying. I mean, one, like they're not on Solana. Like the blockchain itself is actually super key. This one has way, way, way more volume and way more ability to actually like go up in price. I think they're on Polygon, which is, it's not like it's dead, but like it's not like it doesn't have anywhere near as much volume right now. And it just doesn't have hype in it, like ultimately with investors right now. Um, I've helped like work with their platform. I know how it works. I have some of my own models for my own OnlyFans agency on their platform. It's a good platform. I do think like there's something about, making an OnlyFans just a straight competitor to like that website rather than like something a little different is very difficult. I've said like I separately independently run an OnlyFans agency. I have like 12 creators. Some are really big porn stars, some are amateurs, so I understand OnlyFans like super well. Um, you can make a ton of money on there if you're a woman, and probably still if you're a guy. Um, it's $1 billion platform. Everybody uses it. It gives out 80% pay. People don't really have much of a reason to like switch over to the competitors. For myself as an agency, like there's all these like SaaS tools and apps and things that work in relation to OnlyFans that aren't from the platform itself that make it like super easy to use. So like there's a couple apps that make it so like you can put your assistants or chatters on the account and they don't have access to like the password or username. Actually super key because there's all kinds of like crazy things that can happen if you give like the access to these accounts that make a ton of money access to to like someone from the third world that's getting $3 an hour. Like I've seen like blackmail situations and all kinds of craziness. So that like I only know how to even like run an agency like on OnlyFans itself easily. Like it's would be very difficult to do on just like front fans or Fansly or all these other competitors. So um, like I do make a little bit of money from front fans, but it's like not a lot. So again, like I don't have any like bad things to say about them or a project. I just think it's very tricky to compete with like literally $1 billion company. There's not $1 billion companies in AI porn yet. It is like a wild west similar to crypto. There's a couple little companies in it. I literally just worked for one. Um, so I know the opportunity there, and I think it's a much smarter play. It's also got more like buzz to it, like AI. Like people hear that and they're like, oh shit, and they may want to just buy in because we're saying we're an AI token. Separately than porn. Like people understand the value of that it can do like explosive things. I use AI like every day. I use AI to make your guys snapshot. Like I use it for all kinds of things. It's honestly super powerful. So I could go pretty deep on that, but I think the things we're picking as potential utilities are all like we're picking for a reason, right? Like why it makes sense. And we literally people that have been in the adult industry for years, like Jordana way more than me. Like I've only been really in it for like a couple of years at this point. Um, but like you have to kind of like play within the rules of that industry. If you try to take on like $1 billion company, and like I've literally tried to do this with like past projects, it's just really it's hard to win. It's hard to make a profit. And that's all I'll probably say on that. Does the currency not have locked liquidity? It does have locked liquidity, which is why we can't actually pull it all. Do you guys hear my dog barking? Come here, Rocky. He's a very good boy. He's the dog in the picture. What happened to the coin? Let's see if they joined in here. I'll answer that person. They're not in the chat here, so I'll just say join VC, I guess. I am tired. I feel like I answered that all pretty properly, though. I mean, if that Cryptow person heard this, I hope they heard me and it was pretty rational what I said. Like I said, I don't want to compete with that token. We're doing two different things that can both be successful at the same time. Also really has nothing to do with like the literal token itself. Like it does in the long term, but not like the short term like pump or anything like that. It's really more for like a long-term investment when you're getting into a utility token, because then you're starting to like try to see if the token will pump based on the utility being successful. So, and that takes like a moment to create that success. Um, but I think we can do it from what we're describing and what we have. I don't even think we've like truly told you guys yet, like exactly what we're gonna do, like with this next token. But it's got a little bit more edge to it. I think it's pretty cool what we're doing. So we'll probably discuss that, like I said, tomorrow, like in depth, I'd say. Um, so that's about it. I'm like kind of winded from 3 hours of talking. So like if you guys got like anything else you want to say here, or you want to ask, like just let me know. Otherwise I'm gonna probably, at least myself, jump out of the VC. I'm assuming Jordana, you probably want to go to sleep, so we probably just end the VC unless like somebody else wants to lead it or something.
Yeah, Ben, you should rest. You should rest.
Like she already left in here. It looks like she probably went to sleep. So, all right. Yeah, I'll give it probably a couple more minutes to see if there's anyone else that comes out. I see a person that said, yeah, they drained the LP. Yeah, we did partially drain it. I mean, they're not even in here, so I don't know who I'm talking to. But
Yeah, I see someone asking a question like, how was the LP drain? Was it not locked at first?
no, it is locked. I burned it myself. So we don't have access to it. We literally just used like team tokens for that and like what was remaining in the marketing wallet. And we didn't have that much. So that's why it's like only partially drained. Like we only could pull out so much. And we also had like some of the whales that like we knew personally that had a lot of token, asked them like, hey, can you help us pull, because like we can only get so much out, we need like a marketing budget, and a couple people were able to assist with that. So um, well, like I said, we'll probably ask the community if if you want, you can help us with that. Here's a form to send in tokens, and we'll try to sell off more maybe in a coordinated time, like tomorrow or something like that. So yeah, my throat's tired. How long you been in crypto space, Ben? It's like 2020. I've been like an owner of a project since like 2021. The first project I worked for was actually Cumrocket. If you guys remember them, and I ended up having a whole like consulting business with like their head of product at one point. Um, so that was like the first one that I've like mostly worked with porn tokens, but I have done like crypto marketing for a wide variety of projects in many different ways. Um, so not just being like owner on staff, like just kind of helping out with them. Um, so yeah, it's been kind of a wild ride. Like I've been up and down with this stuff, had amazing highs and amazing lows at the same time. So yeah, if you have any more questions for like me personally, I don't mind just saying who I am or anything about myself really. Like my crypto resume is like pretty kick-ass, honestly. And like just my resume in general also. Yeah, I'll give it maybe like a minute. Otherwise, I'm gonna close it out. Drop the voice chat recording in the chat, and then I'm gonna start working on these things I started talking about. Honestly, I'm probably gonna take a break for like 15 minutes because I'm a little drained,
Yeah,
and then I'll come back and like
Ben,
make these two forms.
Ben.
Yeah, go ahead.
You should not forget to check my wallet if it's included with the snapshot.
Yeah, I got it. Like I have to go through probably like 20 DMs I've received in this, like one at a time, but I'll probably like, go clear my head and come back and then like work on all this stuff for like the next couple hours or so.
Uh,
So even when this is closed, if you want to drop any questions to me, like in the chat or whatever, like you totally can. I'll try to answer it when I can.
okay.
Let's see. I see that person talking in the chat. Let's see what they say. Yeah, they're not even in here, so I'm not even like replying to someone in particular. I do see Samantha typing if you have a question. And she is in here.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I just got into the chat. I'm not sure what was going on, so I just wanted to like get a quick update on what happened because I just looked at my account and it was down and I didn't know what happened, so I went to Telegram group, and so I just missed kind of what happened and if I should sell or what I should be doing.
Yeah, so just to be clear, we specifically decided to do like a relaunch of the token, because we had actually like burnt the like LP and we only have so many team tokens. Um, we were only able to do like a partial LP draining. I took a snapshot about 5 minutes before we announced anything and anyone knew what was going on. So the snapshot is from the price of, like when it was just kind of natural and not like at like post dump or anything like that. And so we will be airdropping whatever tokens you had at that moment, which was about 3.5 hours ago. Um, and then we'll be sending that like after the launch, but or not after the raise, but before the launch, like in that interim period, just to be very clear. Um, and then like if you have any tokens right now, I mean like the liquidity is still open. So you can technically just sell it. Like I'm not gonna like take away like giving you an airdrop because you sold tokens afterwards. It's fine. Or like I'm gonna probably put up a form like in the next hour or so that's just like, hey, if you can send us in your tokens, we'll include this in the airdrop. And then probably give you like bonus tokens one way or another. I just have to decide on exactly how to do that. And then we're going to use that for draining a further amount of the LP so that we can actually, like the whole thing of why we're even doing it is basically just to have marketing funds for like a V2 launch. Um, so we haven't even like pulled out that much right now. So if you want to do that, you can like send us the tokens, or if you want to instead just sell them, and just make a little bit of extra money. I mean, you can do either one pretty much. It's not like a wrong thing to do in this situation. You would automatically get tokens anyways if you just had tokens 3 hours ago, basically.
Okay, thank you for answering my question. Yeah, so I guess I'll just keep what's there. I mean, like, do you guys have a way to where I could send you guys the tokens? You guys are gonna do that, right?
I'm gonna put up a forum. Like I've been like talking for like 3.5 hours or something, so I'm a little tired. So I'm gonna
I
probably take like
understand. I understand.
maybe like 15 minutes and then come back and make a Google form and then probably pin it in the chat and say, hey, if you want to help us out, you can send tokens here. We'll include it in the airdrop. Probably how I'm thinking about it is like, if you have tokens post launch that are worth like way, way less, I could take the value of them at that time that it's sent in and then give like that extra amount maybe in the airdrop. I'm not sure if that makes sense, so I have to like go really look because maybe it's not even like that far down and people still have a ton of money. So it might not make sense basically, but it looks pretty far down. So
Yeah.
um, maybe everybody just has like, $2 left or something. I don't know. But one way or another, I'm gonna try and offer like a bonus with it that just makes sense for everybody.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem. I'm just curious, like, did you come in as a recommendation from someone or did you just find us organically?
I found you guys organically on Twitter, and then
Oh, that's so cool.
I just started buying, and I did see that I was like, oh, I liked it because I liked that the price was like staying leveled. And then I also liked like that I saw that the team was you guys were actually active and all of that things, and I saw that you guys were actually like passionate about the project. So that's what made me invest.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we got a team of people that have like just been doxxed and part of like many other similar kinds of projects in the past. So, we kind of came with like a full game plan of like how to do everything. And we do like we really do both like the adult and crypto industries. Like we are both myself and Jordana that I would say is doing a lot of the bulk of the labor here at the top end. um, find like the both spaces fascinating and like the sort of like Venn diagram where they both overlap to be very interesting to be in, like both lucrative for money plus just kind of, interesting enough that you would put your time and effort into working in it. So, um, yeah, if you have any questions for us or anything like that, I mean, you can DM us. But super cool that you just came organically like that. Appreciate you being in the community.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'll let you guys know if I have any questions. But yeah, that was really my main question because I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, and that's why I just like was in this chat for like the last couple hours since we did that, because like I know, if you don't go out there, explain things to people, really talk and put your at least your voice on chat and explain to people like, hey, it's okay, people freak out, they might be accusing you of all these things, and I just don't want to go through that as a project owner, like also just like the negativity in general. So appreciate you coming in and just like asking, so you're not like yourself all negative and freaking out.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you guys for being so transparent.
Yeah, no problem. As I mentioned, I am like super tired. I'm gonna probably close this in a moment. I'll probably open up voice chat again in like 4 or 5 hours or something like that when the Europeans are around, because I'm sure there's a whole new wave of questions to be answered then. But I'm gonna go to work on a few of these things, and I'll come back with some forums, and we'll go from there. And I think honestly, like some people here did mention like they'd be interested in a private sale. We need to talk about that internally, and I need to work out like tokenomic wise how we can like squeeze that in, like how it makes sense to do that. I think we can make it work. I mean, especially if we raise a certain amount of money, like it would just be perfectly fine. So, if you guys are interested in that in particular, we could totally do that. I just don't know if like the full community wants that or specific people just want that personally. We probably would do tokens at some sort of discount, I suppose, that would be lower than the fair launch if we were to do something like that, which makes it a little bit not a fair launch, but I guess, I don't know, people can live with it. So yeah, we can we'll discuss it internally and then we'll come back with a decision on that. I don't know if it makes sense or not to do that. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end the chat because, like I said, I'm just like super tired. I'll try to answer questions like in the community over the next few hours and then open up voice chat again. But I'm gonna probably not be like really looking at chat for an hour or two because I want to just smooth out some things with those forums and then come back with that. But I'm glad everybody came here. I'm glad you were able to just stick around. I appreciate that people are pretty chill about this now and we're able to, just kind of hear what I'm saying and accept like, hey, maybe they're not stealing my money type of thing. So I know like 99 out of 100 tokens are like a scam, like especially on this blockchain. So skepticism is totally valid. That's why I know I need to like prove my case to you guys to begin with. So um, I, if you're gonna stick around for the future of this community, I hope you guys do, and I'm looking forward to being here long term. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this out, and I'll drop the recording in the chat.
Have a